Hello, welcome back. You're watching Big Bad Bodybuilding Olympia Preview Special Edition. Our guest, as always, we have Dennis the Big Bad Wolf, and joining us, Jean Pierre Fux, legends in the sport. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent. We are going to be at the Olympia, just like the Arnold. We will have the Big Bad Bodybuilding booth along with the Nutrition Wolf. We will be doing live podcast. We're going to be doing the commentating Friday morning on the 212, and Jean-Pierre will join Dennis and I for that live, along with Jose Raymond, which we're really excited about. Legendary 212 bodybuilder, beginning his input on the class. And then on Saturday, we'll have Danny Hester joining us, first ever Classic Olympia champion. Will be joining us about 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. We're hoping to stream those live on YouTube. So check out for that, get their input, as well, and let you make the decision. But that'll be great insight from those guys. We're going to be live at booth 1443. That's going to be right next to the Gasp and Better Bodies booth there at the expo starting on Friday. Guys, the Olympia is coming up. What do you guys think? I remember in the past, growing up, my first Olympia was 2000. I made it out. Ronnie had won it for a couple years, and being a Texas guy, I was a big Ronnie fan and all that. It was at the Mandalay at that time, and that was my first experience of it, man. In the expo, it's changed a little bit, obviously a lot since then, but guys, give me a couple of your memories. Do you guys remember anything about the press conferences? What really stands out to you, and maybe something about your first Olympia?
Well, I can go first. This is almost embarrassing. 1983 Munich.
That's right, because you were a fan before you started competing. Dennis, did you ever go to Olympia before you competed?
Yeah, I was about 15 years old going out there.
Munich, Germany. Wow.
Yeah, I remember they had the first athletes just showing the silhouette, and when each silhouette you knew right away who it is. Very different from bodybuilding today, and of course Samir Banu was by far the best athlete, but my understanding of bodybuilding, I wasn't that knowledgeable. I was totally outraged that Bertil Fox didn't win the show. But of course, when I look at the pictures today, it's absolutely ridiculous. He's lucky to be in fifth because he could not even pose. Yeah. But that was my first Olympia. I was 15 years old. And then the second one was Rimini. I think there was a few years later. It was great as well. Rimini reminded me a little bit on what I've seen often with tennis. When the top 6 came out in Rimini, it was like one guy taking his kids on a walk. It looked with tennis often like that too, and tennis was in the top 6. It often looked like you're on a different planet. It doesn't mean you're the best bodybuilder up there, but it often looked like, wow, look at this guy. That was very, very similar with Lee Haney. So that was my second Olympia. I don't know, Dennis, when did you go to the first Olympia?
I never went to Olympia before I actually competed. Yeah. So, and I don't even remember having the opportunity to watch it somehow. So we always had the magazines, to check on the Olympia, what's going on or what was going on, So actually, I think when I was amateur, then I started getting more into it, but otherwise, I don't even remember. I think because I had no opportunity like today, the live streams, pay-per-views, all that stuff was not possible back in the days.
Well, back in the days, the Olympia was every year in a different place. So Munich was the chance for me, it was a 10-hour car ride, but other than same with Rimini, it was about 10-hour car ride. Other than that, we would have been in the United States. There's no way I could have gone as a teenager.
Are you guys in favor of that? Do you like the fact that it's in Vegas? Obviously, Dennis living there, I'm sure you love it. But do you guys think it should move around? They kind of talked about that and making it more of an international competition. What do you think about that, JP?
It's too difficult with some of the steroid laws worldwide. You don't want to suddenly have people being arrested at airports and stuff like that. So,
think about that.
And that was kind of the main concern. I think 98 was supposed to be Paris, but they had a lot of issues at that time. I remember in the Tour de France, at some point, the race was stopped and the whole team was arrested. right in the middle of a stage. And I think that scared. I mean, I have to ask what the reason was, but I think that's what scared them and made them stay in the United States. So no, I'm totally fine. Of course, I live here. I mean, it's easy for me to say. What is a little bit a sad side effect of it when people can't get visas? That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a couple. I know there's a classic guy that couldn't get in, but luckily, Howdy's been here for a while, and Beruz, he's here, right? Is he already in the States? I mean, I'm hoping.
Is he here?
I'm hoping. I'm sure he's already here. I would imagine.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very, very good.
Yeah,
so,
the visa is a big deal. Yeah. So
then it's only down to Nathan, really, of the top guys, which couldn't come in, and that's for different reasons. So Nathan Diasha.
Yeah.
So now I'm more than fine in the Olympia being here. I don't know how you see that, Dennis.
I agree with you. Having Olympia here in Vegas, I think it's the best time, the best town for that. A lot of tourism, a lot of everything you wish for, So, and this is just drawing a lot of people to Las Vegas, and I think with all the gyms around it, it's getting better and better for that, And I think Las Vegas you cannot compare to any city here in the United States or worldwide. So, and it's an entertainment town, and I think it's just perfect if the Olympia will be here forever. But also, like you said, that was pretty cool back then, when Olympia was moving around, and every country could maybe apply, or so that was great. But I don't think there's so many opportunities like in Vegas anywhere. So that's why I think it's just perfect here.
I agree. I think it should stay there. I mean, it's accessible for the most part. I mean, not many other cities in America can you go and find a $50 a night hotel. It may not be, on the strip, but you can find a $50 hotel, a night and go, and it's easily accessible, and I think more affordable. They have it in Dubai or something. I mean, we're spending what, $1,000 a night on a hotel, so you're probably not going to have the same turnout, right? Yeah, awesome. Well, let's get into it. I was got a little bit different format than maybe some of the other shows talking about our Olympia previews. We're gonna keep it pretty short, so we're gonna cover the 212 class, classic, and then the open. What I was gonna ask you guys, I want you to give me your favorite bodybuilder in the class, who you like and why. Then give me your dark horse or somebody you really think is gonna make an impact this year or move up in the ranks. And then go ahead and give me your winner. Who you think is going to win, regardless of who you like. I'm sure we're all going to probably have the same guys there. But yeah, so let's start with you, Jean Pierre. Give me your favorite in the 212 class, and then give me your dark horse and your winner.
Well, the favorite has to be the Mr. Olympia. But then last year he won without being really, really in great shape. I had Sean as the clear winner last year, even with some issues in the midsection. And so it's for me hard to believe that they're going to go back to Sean, since they obviously very much liked Keon, even not as hard. And I never seen Keon crazy hard. I never did. So I would have him as the favorite. But I'm a huge fan of Sean Clarida. So it's just like a mini Ronnie Coleman. I would love to have him getting the title back. Dark horse is this guy from the Ukraine, Oleg Krivi, I think is his name.
I think he's had surgery. I don't think he's competing.
He's not competing.
Okay,
yeah. He's off the list here. And that guy is dense. Every time I see him, I don't know how he's under 212 pounds. That guy is dense. But yeah, I think he's out.
I don't have another dark horse, Then we have Angel Calderon. He's with his structure, he can be happy if he's third or fourth again. I mean, he's brutal, absolutely brutal, but he will never be able to beat Keon or Sean. They would have to be both totally off. And then there is Carrot. It's just not quite enough. So right. I don't see anybody having a chance to getting into those top two.
Oh, good. Dennis, what do you have?
My favorite bodybuilding 212 is Keon, for sure, and I'll pick him as a winner as well. I think he sets him a little bit apart from the rest of the 212 bodybuilders because of his shape, his line, and his symmetry. So, like Jean Pierre said, yes, he wasn't really hard, but can he get harder? Maybe it's what he can do the best to get his condition on. I don't know, but I also would like to see him more like deeper, crispier maybe. Dark horse, I don't have one. I'm not so interested in 212 bodybuilding, but I would love to have or to see that battle again with Sean Clarita. I had him last year first after prejudging too, but yeah, he just looks like a small Ronnie Coleman, just a little different from the size, but he's very impressive. And yeah, it's bodybuilding, right? But it looks like Keon with his symmetry and all of this, just overpowering him, with a nicer look. That's what I think.
Do you guys know where Keon was weight-wise last year?
I don't know if he was close to the cap or not.
I talked to him like a couple of weeks ago. He said he was way down under the 212. It's going to be the same this year. So he's under 212.
Well, we know Sean's going to make weight because he's like, 5 foot. So, yeah. I mean, he's probably good there. I'm going to agree with JP on this one. I like Clarita. I had him winning last year. But again, like you said, once they've kind of made that decision to go with Keon and that look, he was definitely the best he's looked condition wise last year. And it was good enough, apparently. Talking to Sean and so we saw him at the Fit Expo here in Texas. And, I think I don't know if this is still his plans, but he said he was going to that he almost had too much muscle on his frame and was going to maybe come down. So I don't know unless that's what the judges kind of told him. I mean, I don't know if that's the answer. Cause I mean, he was harder last year and it was he's really hard on himself. Like I wasn't 100%. And I totally disagree. I thought he was spot on for his physique. He was hard. I mean, with the midsection, maybe there's some things he can do posing wise to change that, but I thought he looked amazing and I wouldn't have changed anything. It's just going to depend on what the judges go with. So I would agree with you guys. I think Keon, and I'm sure he'll probably come in even better condition, is going to take it again with Sean second. I did want to throw out my dark horse, a guy named Christian Zagarella. He is from, is he Italian? I'm not sure, but this guy, I've seen him. He won, I can't even tell you what show he won, but I think he has the best quads in the division between size, shape, separation, just amazing. And he has a tiny, tiny waist for that division. So if you guys aren't familiar with him, check him out. Christian Zagarella. I think he can get a top 5. He just looks really amazing. I mean, to me, it's just his legs they're so incredible for the front and upper body. Maybe a little behind his legs because they're so good, but his waist is so small. I think he's going to do really well. He came from Classic. So look out for that guy. Cool. Let's go to the Classic division. JP, you're up. Kind of the same order. Give me your favorite. Give me your winner. Give me your dark horse.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Chris can only beat himself. There's no chance anybody, he looks so much bigger than anybody else. And from what I've seen on his Instagram, I mean, he's not slowing down at all. He will win again. Now there's a big fight afterwards. I really have about 10 names here, which I all like. Now Wesley, I'm a little bit worried he's being in shape so early. If he's gonna be a little bit on the thin side at the end.
Yeah, he looks ready now. He really does. He looks ready today.
He looks ready for weeks, and then the legs might be a little bit on the thin side. Then there is Ramon, of course. Then there is Urs. I'm not a big fan of Urs specifically. His arms will just never come up. And they would have long been there by now. It's not going to be any surprise. And then if you lose that double biceps pose like that, when he's there in the lineup, he could be the winner. But the arms are just like amateur arms. And it's just, I'm sorry, this is not going to be ever an arm who can be Mr. Olympia. Then we have Terence is not competing, huh? Is that correct?
No.
He's not competing. Then we have that French guy, Stefan Matala, but he's not competing as well. Brion is going to be somewhere hanging into the top 4 or 5 there. Now, what I'm curious about is Mike Sommerfield, which has an absolutely great genetics. I mean, I'm not overwhelmed by his cuts. You know, it seems to be a little bit raw still, kind of, even after all those years. Now, can Mike kind of get into this Urs Ramon kind of for the second spot? I would have said yes 2 or 3 weeks ago till I saw them post together. I don't know if you guys seen that footage.
Yes. Dennis should have been there. I know Dennis was working with them for a little bit. Were you over there?
You came to train at my place, yes.
He always kind of looks to me like, when it comes to the cuts, when it comes to like the shoulder cuts, and you know how the transition between arms and shoulders seems always a little bit like 4 weeks out to me, even if he's hard, but he's absolutely great. So I hope, especially since he's German and I speak German, so I hope he's moving into those top 3. But I wouldn't be surprised if the top 3 are the same: Chris, Ramon, Urs, and then 4th we have to see between Brion and Mike. So that's kind of how I see it. But, I forgot Wesley. I forgot Wesley. Oh my God! No, Wesley said Ramon will never beat me again. We have to see about that. So yeah, he's in that mix as well. So as of right now, since he won the Arnold, he will be second. So let's go. Let me correct: Chris, Wesley, Ramon, Urs, and then Mike, the top 5.
Dennis, before you give me your picks, working with Mike, I'm just curious. He looks big. Like where is he on the cutoff for Classic? Is he gonna make I mean, obviously he's probably done his homework. He's gonna make the cut, but he's got to be right there at the top, right?
Yeah. Look, I was impressed by his condition.
I mean, he almost looks open bodybuilding. I mean, he's big.
Yeah, I mean, he was open bodybuilder, as I know. I don't remember actually, right? But I was surprised how it looks. So he trained hamstrings at my house here, and I checked on him later. His physique is just phenomenal. So I don't know what's happened in the last couple of years that he's not brought it to the stage like he looks prior. That's the issue I see. That's a big risk, that can happen again. I don't know what happened. He told me he was sick and all that. So yeah, shit happens, right? So I think he can do a lot of damage if he brings that, right? So if he gets tighter, and I think he's gonna make weight anyways. And he's my dark horse for this year's Olympia. So not to win the show, but move up placing wise, right? So Chris Bumstead is unbeatable still. That's what I think, is my opinion. Second and third, that's gonna be a fight between Wesley and Ramon. That's how I see it. And I think Brion and Mike Sommerfield will be fighting for the 4th. And I think, so this is just my kind of, what I feel like. Urs is not showing a lot, recently. So, and
he does have a new haircut. He's got
right. Okay. So I kind of forgot that, and then didn't see him working on that. So I mean, he's working on his image. That's like fun stuff, and but why doing this, right? So maybe you're afraid to lose your spot. I don't know. So this is just what I feel, right? And think. So I think for Urs, because he's not improving for the last 2 years, no arms, no arm improvement. But that's fact, right? So I think he can really move down, and that could really happen to him.
Yeah. Man, all right, I'm going to go. I agree with what you guys are saying. I think, man, there's just so many, like you said. How many in the division, JP? 60?
64 originally qualified. The few won't be there, so it's going to be over 50 athletes.
Well, I mean, we were talking, earlier. When you follow these guys on Instagram, you see them in all. I mean, I bet I've seen 30 guys in the last week that look top 10. I mean, they look amazing, by themselves. You really don't know till they're standing up there against the best. There's a lot of good new guys that, I mean, you know, they're at the level, they're turning pro and they're going straight to the Olympia. Some of these guys are winning the amateur and winning the open, you know, the pro the next day. So, you know, I love Wesley. We were pulling for him. He got that Arnold win. I think he's really like going to have to improve his legs from the back, you know, just the shape. I don't know that he can do that, but to really give Chris a run. But I agree with you guys. Bumstead's going to win it. I'd like to see Wesley get that 2 spot. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't string out too much. He's definitely going to be in shape. Dennis and I have talked about, I don't think there's anybody in the division that has the shoulder striations that you know, Wesley brings. I mean, it's very crisp, very complete.
So detailed to the max. That's impossible even to think about, right? How fine all these striations are and fibers seen through. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope he can give him a run. I hope he gets that 2nd spot. Really like him, just nice guy, great interview, very intelligent. So I'm pulling for him. Dark horses, Matt Grego. I think he trains a lot, or he did with Derek at Lunsford out there in Florida. I think they're training buddies, but he's really put on some size. I see his pictures. I don't know how he fits. I know he's taller, so I'm not sure how he fits, you know, where his weight cap is, but he looks really good in full, and I don't think he's competed in a while. And then this Korean guy, Ji-hoon Bang. Again, maybe an Instagram guy you just see, but you know, I've seen just in some videos and some comparisons, and I think he belongs there, man. I think he's the real deal, but you know, we'll see. You don't know till they stand next to each other, but he looks very complete. Looks like a cartoon character. Great, you know, proportions, and I think this will be his first Olympia. I think he's going to place in the top 10. I think he's really, you know, going to come in there. And then who are we forgetting? Michael the Bull. You know, he's my boy too. But yeah, there's been so many guys, you know, coming up and making improvements. We'll see where he lands. I know he just won the last 2 weekends. So maybe
he won the Reno Legion Sports.
Yeah, maybe he can use that momentum.
He does talk about health issues quite a bit recently, what concerns me, you know, Michael. So I have him probably moving down a little bit.
I do think he brought up his legs. He said that they told him that, you know, the legs needed to come up, and size-wise, at least, it looks like he did improve that. So we'll see if that pays off. But, you know, it's going to be a fight just to stay in that top 5. But, yeah. Good.
Absolutely.
Good. All right, let's move on. Finally, we're going to just cover the open. JP, you're up. Let's go. Who you got?
Yeah, I think we don't have to talk about anymore who's in the top 5. Everybody agrees on the top 5, you know, in no particular order. I wrote a few names down here, which I'm kind of very, very interested in, where they will fit in. Hunter Labrada, Tabani, Brandon, Fitzwater, and Brandeo. I think that's going to be an epic fight in that group. You know, so any of them can only move up into the top 5 if any of the top 5 is not in great shape. You know, so other than that, who is going to win the show? I think Derek is going to run away with this, because kind of similar to Keon, he still had, not in the back, of course, had some issues when it comes to quality last year. And I had Hardy winning last year. And then I watched the video where Tyler Mannion was going through pose by pose. And he had him winning by a mile, winning, you know, 3/4 of all the poses. Now, Derek is so young, he's going to get just better. So I don't know how Hardy can improve from what he's so great, you know, since so many years. He will have to kind of be better than Derek, but the same. That's not going to happen. So I believe the show will be over fairly quickly and Derek will run away with it. Then we have Samson and Andrew. Depends all on the shape. You know, I'm a huge fan of Andrew. I mean, it's just incredible how he looked last time. He could easily be 3rd. Samson looked better in France, but still carries a little bit too much water. We'll see if it's an issue with his body in general, or if it just takes time to figure it out for the people around him and himself. The big dark horse is Nick. I just don't know where to fit him in. First time he wasn't in great shape this spring. He cannot do anything like that again, or he will be a 5th, 6th right away in this lineup here. But then again, you know, to count him out, that's very dangerous because the guy is really something special. And I'm sure he is angry. You know, he's going to this show angry. Everybody kind of criticizing him. So we'll see where he fits in. Or will he be reached back to that group I just mentioned first? It's going to be a very, very interesting show.
I like it.
Very
Great pick. All right, Dennis, you're up.
Yeah, I agree on Nick. You should never count him out, and I think he is. He's been bringing it always, right? So not always in a perfect condition, but he was always there in the mix. So, and this is why he's so dangerous. Very interesting for me is to see Andrew Jack, where he's gonna land and how he'll look. How it's gonna look next to the top 2 from last year, right? So I mean, it's like he's a head taller than Derek and Hadi, so that's a completely different look, right? So as a tall bodybuilder, you create a different vision, right? So you create different picture, and that's a completely different eye catcher, right? So shorter bodybuilders, they're not so. I call it. I mean, like Derek is impressive for sure, but it's, you know, it's like something is missing. You always think like, if you will be a little bit taller, then, you know, can you imagine? So this is very, very interesting to see. That's how I think, in my opinion, Derek is hard to beat. I only hope he's gonna show us a little bit more of conditioning. You know, so because he gonna look off like from the front poses in the beginning, right? So and then he's starting to take it over, right? So I like to see some improvements over there, but he's very young, so and he's gonna make improvements for sure. But how big are they gonna be, right? So and how and what of improvements he is really ready to pull off, right? So, and man, Hunter Lebrada, also big name. He just won the show in Europe. I was not impressed of his condition. Looked to me a little bit weird. I mean, he's big, but some kind of he's hard, but he's like no details, right? So like in some poses it was really weird, right? So weird to see why is there no striation, or you know, something was missing. But
I know what you're saying. You know, I noticed that too from last year.
You know what I mean? It's like kind of, I mean, everything like thin skin, everything, but it's not deep cuts.
It was almost different from last year when I saw side by side. Yeah. It was like, hey, you know, look at my improvements, and I looked at them. I was like, I like the last year look better, you know. So I know what you're saying. Yeah, and it may have been the lighting,
that like fiber thing, you know. So he had no striation. That was surprising to me. Maybe it's just because he carb loaded different. Who knows, right? So that's why. But it's gonna be very tough show. That's what I think. Open bodybuilding this year, man, it's exciting.
Man, I'm super excited. I like that you kind of mentioned more Andrew Jack than Samson, because between those two taller guys, I like Andrew's physique much. You know, he's kind of got, you know, the shape and the conditioning figured out. I mean, yeah, he could be a little harder, but the look that he brought this year, I thought was really good, and he's just so unique. It's like you said. I mean, you got Hadi and Derek, and they're amazing, but they're totally different, a totally different look, you know. And I think I would love to see Andrew win it. I mean, that's my pick. I think as long as he brings his condition up a little, just to that elite level, his shape is it's just one of a kind. And that's my favorite going into it. And I don't think I said that last year. So I'm really excited to see if he can move up. Dark horse, I love Tabani Beiruz. And I know Milas probably has him in second right now if he was on here. But he does have great points. And I mean, I think he looks awesome. I think he can challenge that top 5. But I agree. I think Derek will win it. Last year, I'm like JP. I had Hottie winning it, but and props to the IFBB and man, coming on there and explaining that, because even if you don't agree with it, I mean, good for them for coming on and say, hey, this is what we saw and this is why we placed them. And I think that's really cool. And I'll sit and watch that whole thing and try to understand where he's coming from and the points he makes, even if you may not agree with them. But I think that was a good move. I mean, I think that's really cool because, fans like, why did you place this? And why? At least he's, somebody's coming on and saying something. So I think those are really cool when he does that. But yeah, I think Derek's only going to get better. Just get harder from the front, man, because the total package, you look at it, you're like, yeah, Derek, probably should have won. But it's like, you don't want to be like, oh, it's Mr. Olympia, but he doesn't look hard from the front. Just something doesn't sound right with that statement. And that most muscular should be just a knockout shot, man. And it's still just
that's a big problem that Andy, that's the last shot on stage. And I think that confuses a lot of people because he looks so much better, Hardy, in that shot.
I know. Right. You end it with a back double by, you'd be like, yeah, it's Derek's. But when you end with that most muscular, and it's like, yeah, he's like the 4th or 5th best most muscular. It's just like, but he's Mr. Olympia. It just doesn't sit right with me.
But with that amount of muscle, right? That should be a killer pose, right?
It's just shoulders, arms, and chest, dude. They're just not at Hottie's, conditioning level. He showed up in Hottie's shape, and dude, it's over. I mean, it's done.
100%.
It's a genetic deal, man. I mean, they're both, amazing. But I agree with you guys, man. Awesome. Yeah, we'll talk more about this, in Vegas when we get there, and I'm sure we'll have a rundown after the prejudging Friday night. JP, are you going to be able to? Are you going live Friday night? Or are you just going to watch it on TV or on the stream?
I know I watch it on the stream.
Yeah, I know Dennis is trying to get some tickets, so I'm going to go Friday night. The prejudging is all I want to see. That's all I care about.
I mean, I know this is a different venue, but last time I was in the very first row after the VIP section. And I could not have done any talking about the Olympia.
Really?
It's just, it was, I mean, what was the name of the theater? The Sappo Theater? Or was that 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
So, I had a very, very expensive, good ticket. I couldn't see really any details or anything. I was totally relying on the screen, on the video screen.
I know you pay all that money and then you watch it on the screen, right? So I would agree it is better to just watch it on the stream, I think,
Yeah, so either I'm going to get that VIP ticket in the, I this time it was not available, or find a way to sit in the first 2 or 3 rows, or I cannot talk about the Olympia. I mean, I'm in that venue. So I don't know how this stadium or venue is. I don't know. Dennis, have you been in there?
No, but I've been to the hotel.
Yeah.
So didn't see the venue, but the hotel is huge. Spacious. Well, but they have 5,000 seats or 4, something like that. Yeah. So it's not a lot.
The Sappo was bigger, so that might be good. Yeah.
Look, if you see, I remember Orleans Arena, or between 7,000 and 10,000 seats. Yeah. So that's a big deal,
Yeah, and there, I knew that arena in and out, so I just took the best seat on the side. Not totally on the side, a little bit. So I was relatively close, so I can have an opinion. But at the Sappo Theater, if you would have me on the next day, I would have been lost. I would have nothing to contribute to that. So I'm looking, I'm watching it on TV. But now, Thursday morning, I'm coming to your house, Dennis. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So, at first I was a little concerned about the 6 a.m., but my wife is like, come on, it's no problem. So we will be there at 6. So
we changed it to 8. We changed it to 8 because is 8 still good? No, 8 in the morning.
Yeah,
all right. You were concerned about having enough time to go to the expo and set it up. So okay,
we'll be fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was the issue with the expo. We didn't know what time and all that.
Yeah.
So 8 a.m.
All right, perfect.
Next week, Thursday.
Oh. All right, we are going to shift gears just a little bit, and we're going to talk a little about Dennis and his coaching. We actually were lucky enough to have his a client, Juan Elizondo, And he's going to come on and join us here just real shortly. And he is getting ready for the Amateur Olympia. So we're going to talk a little bit about Dennis, how you're coaching him, how he's coming along, and just kind of what he's going to expect next week going into the Olympia. So we will, Ray, if we can bring Juan in, that would be great. There he is. Juan, how are you?
Morning.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Woke up, slept in a little bit today. Didn't sleep much yesterday.
No? Well, tell us how your prep's going. How long have you been working with Dennis, and tell us what divisions you're going to be entering this next week.
So basically, right now I've been working with Dennis. At the end of this year will be a full year working together. I basically kind of hung my trunks up in 2017 after I did the Lou Ferrigno Classic. And I just really started focusing on our businesses and growing from there. And at the time, everything I was doing on my own, just YouTube, eating tilapia and broccoli. That's just losing a lot of muscle, losing a lot of size, and starting off my prep at 230, 225, and going down to 168, 175, and not really having much clue what I was doing. So long story short, I decided if I was going to do it again, that I wanted to do it with a professional, somebody that has been through it all, that could help me, motivate me. And I reached out to Dennis. First, I thought he wasn't answering me, but then I realized that he was in Germany for 2 weeks. When he got back, he reached out, and I started working with him to prepare for the Jay Cutler.
And you won that show, correct? Earlier this year.
And you won the overall.
Overall. Now, will you be competing in bodybuilding and classic, or just straight bodybuilding here?
Straight bodybuilding. We're preparing for the light heavyweight. I feel a lot better this year with my posing. Just more confident. My body fat was a lot lower when we started this prep. More condition, more fullness. Didn't have to worry about losing a crazy amount of fat. Just kind of coasting in. Dennis pushed me hard, maybe like a week or two ago, but right now we're kind of just trying to be off my feet, kind of fill in, and just more letting posing do his thing.
Now, is this your first time doing a pro qualifier, and who does turn pro at this amateur level at this show?
To my knowledge, what I was reading is light heavyweight, and super heavyweight get their cards.
Normally it was 3 out of the 5 class winners.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be necessarily those 3, but I mean, it's the most obvious. But I think at the end over, 3 will get the pro card. So yeah, you're pretty spot on with your prediction. Let's put it this way.
Gotcha.
Nice. Well, Dennis, talk a little bit about you guys' relationship and what you see from Juan going in, and does he have a shot at a pro card this year?
Well, yeah. So as we started, Juan was not in the best condition, but I realized from the first poses what I saw, he could be Jay Cutler Classic winner, 100%. So as a bodybuilder or a trainer, you have the eye, right? So you see right away who has potential and who doesn't. But in Juan's case, he was doing a lot wrong for a long time. So the skin was a little bit fluffy and all of that. So we need to get to a different look, right? So we needed to build more muscle. So and all of that. And in a short time, he executed everything and improved really, really well for the Jay Cutler Classic, and won the overall. And after that, excuse me, he wanted to do more. So, and of course, that's a great opportunity for him to jump on one of the biggest shows for, if not the biggest show for amateurs, right? So Olympia Amateur. And it is in Vegas. So we decided to do that. And the prep was, I think, a little bit easier than the prep for the Jay Cutler Classic. Right, of course, towards the end, I pushed him a little bit harder. And I'm really excited to see Juan standing next to the, top amateurs, right? So, I mean, Jay Cutler Classic is a regional show, so a little bit smaller, but this one is really a task for him. So, but in my opinion, he has a beautiful physique. So his front double bicep catches your eye. Everything else, just a small twist, when you start kind of connecting the muscle, it's just, he activates everything and it just jumps on, right? So it pops every time he does a pause or twist a little bit, squeeze a little bit more. So, and this is very impressive. And also what impresses me, he looks completely different. He looks heavier than 5 months ago, and more detailed. So yeah, whole prep was going well, and I see right now he's a little bit exhausted. That's understandable, but we are like in a peak week, so we're depleting a little bit, and then starting carving up a couple days before the show. The show is on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Now, will it have the morning show and the evening show on the same day, or is it back-to-back days?
I think it's one day.
Yeah. Now, I know, Juan, you just live a couple hours from Dennis, right there on the border in Arizona. You own a couple of stores down there, man. Why don't you tell us about your stores and what you do down there?
Yeah, so we live in Bullhead City. It's right across the river from Laughlin. We're probably about an hour and a half from Dennis. We own supplement stores down here in the tri-state area. You also have a couple restaurants that we do that makes prep a little harder when you walk in and you see your food and everything. But it's just part of the show,
I know they're cooking your food too, so that makes it easier, right?
Yeah, it's funny because the last 2-3 weeks we've been eating a lot of mahi fish. I just find it easier to digest it. It absorbs well on my body. But for some reason, fish, when I reheat it, I don't break it down the same. It just feels like something about fish. It has to be fresh. It has to. I'm able to eat more ounces of protein that way. So what I do is I just drive, have my pre-workout meal, hang out, and then work out. And then after my workout, I'll eat the same thing again, but right off the grill. It's a big difference from the reheated fish. I feel like your body absorbs it better. Everything is kind of absorbs better in that all.
Why are you doing any food meals? All just straight solid food at this point?
Yeah, basically, we do like BCA, some creatine, stuff like that. I don't know when Dennis is gonna want to cut that out, but most of everything's from solid food.
Nice. Now we'll throw a little plug in for us, and I know we do carry the Nutrition Wolf products. We're able to go out there and do a podcast at your store earlier this year, which we had a lot of fun with. What's moving good for you guys down there? What's the big Nutrition Wolf seller in your area?
It's definitely, I would say everybody right now is raving about the pre-workout, the high stem. For me, I even lower it a little bit. It's pretty aggressive, but that's what people look for. That's what people want. It's loaded with the citrulline in there. It has a high caffeine. So I like what I feel like a lot of customers enjoy is that they don't have to buy the pump and the pre-workout, because most companies, the way they do it is they'll make it where you buy the pre-workout with high stem, and then they don't put much pump. So you would have to buy the pump. And I mean, it makes sense, as a selling perspective, but especially the way everything is right now, people are more looking for a bundle, something they could get all in one. And I'm very excited for your guys' GDA coming in. I know you sent me some information on that. That's going to be straightly delivered to our shop as soon as Olympia is over. We're definitely placing that in the order because I feel like the GDAs and digestive enzymes are getting big in the industry. People are more and more seeing the benefit of taking a GDA before your pre-workout meal, benefiting more from your carbs, absorbing everything better, and your body definitely responds better.
Yeah, excellent, man. That has launched. It is available online. Alpha Slim. It's a great new product. I'm taking it on my high carb days. For sure. And we're also, we have released the creatine monohydrate in 3 sizes. And very soon we will have our greens product out. I'm going to have it there, hopefully, to sell at the Olympia. So we're excited about that. What are you gonna get? Yeah. Well, and Dennis, I know we're doing your mushroom product. Dennis wants a mushroom product. So
yes,
it's coming.
Yes, I do. But
unfortunately, yeah, absolutely. Juan, are you going to be around for the big show this weekend in the expo?
Yeah, we have me and my managers. the managers of all the stores. We're going to be out there Saturday night for the finals. I'm taking them all out. It's funny because I was going through my closet, and the last time we went to the Olympia with our staff was 2019. I believe it was a year Brandon won 2019. And it's funny how who would have thought 5 years later that I would be, it's an amateur stage, but that I would be stepping back on there. So we made it a point that we're all going to be down there the whole weekend. So we'll definitely stop by your guys' booths. I'm excited to check it out.
Absolutely, awesome, man. I know earlier when we came down there, we got to train together, Juan, and I told you I was thinking about doing it with you. So I that lasted about a month, and I figured out I think I'm too old to do it. But maybe the next year, all right, But that would be pretty cool to get back there and with you.
I remember you were telling me, Zach, the real question was how you were going to explain to your wife.
Oh yeah, no. She's not already that happy. I'm going to be there all week doing this stuff. So to add competing would have been probably the dagger, man. And yeah, I don't know. I was serious about it at the time, man, but I've done enough of these. I know what it takes. And so mad props to you, man, and running the businesses. And I got a chance to eat at the restaurant when I was there, and it's fantastic. And they got, you got your healthy
place.
I
agree. The food was incredible.
So we'll throw that up here on the screen, and then hopefully, you guys have some people stop by. And man, I was real impressed with what you got going on there.
Awesome. Hey, Zach, so when we're down there we are going to be down there in the expo. Where's your guys' booth going to be located by?
Yeah, so we're going to be at booth 1443. It's going to be closer to the stage because, they're doing the pre-judging there Friday and Saturday at the expo. So we'll be right next to the Gasp and Better Body booth. We are doing some collaboration with them, with Gasp and MJ on our T-shirts and some hoodies. Really excited about that, and I'm sure we'll have MJ on the show and things as well. So we got a great relationship with those guys. And yeah, so we'll be there, booth 1443. So looking forward to see you guys there. Like I say, JP, man, he's gonna do the commentary for the 212 with us, and hopefully some more on Friday. We're gonna train together. So now, JP, I want you to bring bring your old 8x10 photos so you can sign them and charge everybody $20. All right.
It's still a thing.
No, it's not. I don't know when that stopped, but if you did that now, you'd probably piss off quite a few people. But I remember when I was a teenager, man, I was paying my whatever it was. I had to have my black and whites. I still got all those somewhere. But yeah,
exactly. You got to get Dennis some poster. Every time we're at the Dragon's Lair, everybody's asking him, "You don't have a poster you can sign for me?" I told Dennis,
"Yeah, right.
I'm going to bring a stack of papers for you so you can sign for me." But Dennis goes, "Next time." I'm like, "I'm not going to tell Zach."
We have all those, so I will leave some with Dennis. So whenever he goes in there, he can sign them all for people. So
yeah, definitely.
Hey Juan, I looked through your nutrition shop page here. You don't have an Instagram yourself, is that correct?
Yeah, no, it's I'm trying to stay married. It's easier.
I'm very much admiring that. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, I just
all about the store.
We have the Instagrams for the businesses, and I spend enough time on there, so I try to on the weekends I try to stay off my phone as much as possible, because I feel like the last 2-3 years that's all we do now, man. We're so accustomed to being on our screen time and seeing what people are posting, and sometimes you blink and you lose track of time, and there goes your weekend, and you don't enjoy
if you win, you might have to change that.
Right to go.
Well, hey, I know you did do a little series on YouTube, right, Juan? You want to plug that a little bit? You got a little YouTube series, right? Your Olympia prep.
Yeah. So me and one of my top guys in the company, Mikey Green. He really motivated me to start vlogging a little bit more, and we're very amateur about it, like everybody is, right? But I really basically the way I see YouTube right now at the moment is it's kind of like a free unlimited flash drive where you don't have to waste the storage on your computer and stuff like that. Because one of my mentors, shout out to Mike and Bo, one of my mentors always told me that one of the biggest regrets he has was not recording enough, like his business ventures and stuff when he was younger, because he was saying once you're 50, 55, he was like, you will pay whatever to go back and see what you were doing when you were 25, 30, 35. And that's everybody's regret. And I kind of thinking back when I did the Reno Classic in 2012, 2014, I did the Vegas Classic. I have 2-3 pictures to show for it. And I wonder how did I look 8 weeks out? How did I look 9 weeks out? How did I look? I don't remember how I looked. You know,
Right.
you just kind of everything kind of blinks. So at least the YouTube, you know, you go back and you see you could go back 10 years, 20 years from now. And I feel like as you get older, though every year you get older, you start valuing what you were doing when you were younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know who was really good in my time with that, and I didn't understand it back then? Nasser. When Nasser, when he guest posed or everybody went, he took thousands of pictures. And of course, I get pictures today sometimes from a guest posing in like Brazil or China or wherever, and I don't have one picture of it. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, you got to record as much as you can. Yeah. Hey, quickly, Dennis, before I have to leave, I wanted to ask you something. I made a note here. I forgot about it. Just in a few words, if you want to, what happened with Dennis in Reno?
Oh, very difficult to understand. That's how I want to say it. So first of all, we'd call out. First call out top 2. Right, so that's already like makes clear. Okay, 2 guys are fighting between each other, right? So and then the rest of the top 6, all right. So it was Dennis in it, and they moved everyone except Dennis. So Dennis was never moved where you stand, right? So, and from my understanding, right? So not just because they did move them. So he was standing like on the 5th place, but I was kind of questioning why he was not compared to the other guys or put in the middle, right? So switch it up a little bit. So maybe there was like he was too dangerous because I think he was not off. He was not far away from the top 3, So that's what I think. I don't know what happened, why they judged that like that, or pull the call outs or call the call outs like this. And there was going on the same thing in the finals too, right? So call out top 2 and then the rest. So
I never seen.
I personally saw him on a 3rd spot. He was improved from last year. He was in shape, better than some of the guys, right, in the top 5, and the sharpness. Right, so maybe he's not mature yet, like some of the athletes, but I think he deserved 3rd place.
Mm-hmm. All right, good assessment.
Yeah. Dennis is referring to Dennis Reinhold, is his client from Germany. He placed 5th at the Reno show. Was it last weekend?
Yes, last Saturday. Yeah. So
look, man, from my perspective, I saw the stream. Best he's looked. Tan was right on. Looked better. Yeah. Most muscular was a showstopper. Looks amazing.
Did you see that with Brad Wilkin next to each other? That was impressive.
Oh yeah.
Right? So
he definitely took some shots, man. I think in the back, it's crazy. His rhomboids and traps are so big. They kind of overpower, I think, his back a little bit, but his back lat spread looks amazing. I think he just has a different shape back, on that back double by. But from the front, he looked awesome, man. I'm definitely the best he looked. I had him in 4th, definitely not in 5th, but at 4th and the top 3 were really good. But he's made such, dramatic improvement. So good on you, man, and congratulations to him. So
yes, thank you. That was the goal, to improve and show the improvements a year later. So, and I think we made it.
Did you ever seen before a show starting with a call out of 2 people only?
I've never seen that.
Olympia or Arnold Classic, bigger shows, yes. So in my case, Kai Green and Phil Heath, that was the case, right? So they did that. But on a smaller show, never seen that.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. We'll see. I doubt that happens at the Olympia, but
not this year.
Not this year.
Andrew Jack. There's some people.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be Andrew and Samson first call out. What do you think?
I don't think Samson, because he's. I think he'll be the same thing. Too far away from great condition or being in a great condition.
And then it is.
That's the issue with not wanting to lose some weight, maybe. But it's like also sometimes you lose weight and you're not getting better, right? So maybe that's the issue he has. So, right.
Yeah. Well, he's big.
Yeah.
I think it's the back than even the condition. His back is just not at the level of those top guys, you know, and just that double bicep looks a little, you know, shallow and not as wide. But you know,
I mean, I will like what I will do in my position or in his position when I was there.
It'll be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, pull down everything, like just, you know, low carb, zero carb, whatever, you know, just to figure it out, right? So what catches it? What really, you know, makes sense to do? What works?
Do you remember last year when Milos was talking about how little he loaded him for Olympia, and he was already far too much. So I think
I mean, we all different. We work, we function different. Our body is totally different. Also, is changing from time to time, right? So at the age, you know, all that. But yeah, I can imagine that. So, but I mean, if you get full that fast, so maybe you are not depleted enough. Yeah. But it's just a question, you know. Like I said, you need to figure it out. So you need to do a couple tests, maybe what works, what doesn't, you know, to get there. Because if you're not getting there for a couple of years, it doesn't make any sense, you know. So you're not improving. So if you need to improve on your condition, you need to work on that. Right, so I mean, somehow you get there, right? So, but you need to figure it out. And if you don't,
Dennis,
like,
what do
you're gonna hang around in the top 10, right? Top 5, top 10.
Dennis, real quick, talking about conditioning, I'm sure both of them will bring in the conditioning. 212, that one's gonna be interesting. Keon and Sean Clarita.
Yeah, absolute. I mean, he's.
I think that battle.
Small Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, that 212 battle will probably be harder to judge than the Open Olympia.
Two different physiques. One is beautiful, more beautiful. The other one is more like looks like bodybuilding should look like, right? So like put mass everywhere as much as you can and bring it hard on stage, right? So conditioned. So this is Sean Clarita, but Keon, man, I mean that line and then that the physique is just too beautiful to, you know, to compare it. So it's like two different pictures. So it's like what are you like
it's
that?
Like apples and oranges.
Yeah,
apples and oranges.
Exactly.
Well, we just saw Keon at the Dragons there. We're doing our
a couple weeks ago. Yes, a couple weeks ago.
The guy looked huge, and he was saying he was I believe said he was 211 or 206. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. So he's probably now at around 208 or so.
Yeah,
that's big. That's big. Well, on that frame. Well, guys, I'm super excited to see all you guys. I'm really pumped to train with you, JP. So I know, Juan, good luck to you, man. And I mean, you wrap up Wednesday. We're going to have a training session at Dis's house the next morning, man. Love for you to show up, hopefully with some hardware, at least come and make us look bad. Get some
poses. That's what we're looking for.
What time?
8 a.m. Yeah, Thursday. So you know, I'm sure you'll already been up and had 2 breakfasts by then. So I would love for you to. I'm sure
if I win, I probably won't go to sleep on Wednesday. No.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, come on, start training, you know, for your pro debut, right? Next day. All right.
Okay, well, we'll definitely try to make it there. But if I don't see you guys there, I'll definitely stop by and say hi and see you guys and support you guys out at the booth. I'm really excited for you guys. Very impressive. I mean, you guys have been in business with your guys' new venture a couple months and already going to make a statement at the Olympia.
That's the goal, man. We said we'd go big, you know, first the Arnold and now the Olympia. And then next year we're going to shoot for Dubai and FIBO, right, Dennis? That's our plan.
Exactly. That's our goal, going internationally for sure.
Okay. Well, the last thing I want to say, you guys gave me a second, was I really want to give thanks to Dennis. He's a very good coach, very supportive. You could always reach out to him. And I think more than anything, you know, as an amateur, deciding who you're going to work with, and, you know, you could reach out to anybody nowadays. And I mean, I'm sure they could work with you or not work with you, but I feel like there's something special about looking at working with somebody that you inspire to be like, somebody that your body responds for itself, that has kind of been in the trenches. And more than anything, I think it's a mindset thing, because I need to be inspired by who I work with, or else it's kind of hard to stay motivated during the prep and here and now. And I feel like Dennis kind of checks off all those boxes. Definitely, I could reach out to him as an amateur, and he'll respond to me very professionally. If I have a question, I met up with him plenty of times in Vegas, and he's always very supportive. So I just want to throw that in there and give him thanks for how far he's gotten me so far.
Juan, thank you very much for your words, and I really appreciate it. And man, we collaborate on the next level. So, and I'm glad everything works out. You're happy, and the condition is great. So, looking for the check-in tomorrow, man.
Oh, you'll get it. You'll get it today. It's just the thing with loading. I'll send that over to you today. Only have a couple more workouts left. I think Dennis said the last training will be Sunday. If not,
Yes.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you Monday for check-ins. I believe it's kind of. I mean, it's a good thing for us. We weigh in on Monday, and we don't compete till Wednesday. I've never really seen that. You typically weigh in the day before.
Yeah, it's perfect for you to carb load. Yes.
Send us
Enough
a pic.
time.
We'll throw them up on here and kind of give everybody a little preview. That'd be good. Awesome. Well, good luck, man. That's going to wrap us up. We'll see everybody in Vegas. Don't forget to go to nutritionwolf.com. Enter code BBB. Get 20% off your order. Come by and see us. We're going to have lots of samples, new swag. We're doing shirt collab with Gasp at the expo. And come meet Dennis and JP. And hopefully, new pro Juan here, man, right? Come on by and check us out. So we will see you then. And until next time, stay hungry like the wolf.
Good luck, Juan.
Thank you, JP.